Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Paradox of Sports with Jack Sentner.
We're recording to the cloud.
What's up, everybody? Paradox of Sports, episode 53. Hanging out with our boy Jack. Jack, what's going on, man?
Nothing. How are you?
I'm doing way good, man. So just before we hit record, you made a comment about girls somewhere being mean. I'm not going to disclose the location that you said, but Jack, girls everywhere, they're mean. They're women. Females are a mean creature, man. We have a cool interview tonight. This was one I think you guys had a lot of fun with. This is a avenue that I am not as familiar with, and that is the wrestling world, be it amateur and professional. So we're going to get to that in a bit. But before we do, I want to know, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was pretty good. I just hung out in New Mexico with my family on my mom's side.
Gotcha. So I know traditionally when you go down there, which I mean, it happens on both sides, I guess, but I know when you go down there are guns that are fired. So was there any weapons discharged this time?
No, I don't even think we went to the shooting range this time.
What did you do then?
We didn't even do much. I mean, I rode in the Ranger with my grandpa.
Okay.
I got to drive it for like 9 miles.
Nice. Well, I was just getting ready to ask, because if you don't remember, you are getting to the age where you might have snuck into grandpa's liquor cabinet. You're not doing that yet, are you?
No. I don't even want to try beer.
Yeah, no, don't try it. Well, liquor is where the good stuff is, so you don't want to try it. I think he
has a cabinet for that. I don't even know.
I'll bet there's some somewhere. That's going to be like an Uncle Kevin Jack thing here in a couple years. We'll do that. Don't tell your mom and dad, but that is something we will get into. I have a bunch of questions for you, but when people see who we have tonight, they don't give two shits about me and you talking right now. So I want you to introduce who the guest is tonight. And then when that is done, we're going to come back and I have some questions about the Broncos I want to talk with you. But before we do that, tell everyone who we're talking to tonight.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Jack here from the Paradox Sports Podcast. I'm here with my dad to help me, and last we have another long intro. Please welcome Pennsylvania High School State Wrestling Champion, two-time NCAA National Champion for Clarion University of Pennsylvania, WCW Champion, WCW United States Champion, WWF Intercontinental Champion, WWF European Champion, WWF Tag Team Champion, World Heavyweight Champion, WWF King of the Ring, 4-time WWE Champion, IWGP Heavyweight Champion, NWA World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time TNA World Tag Team Champion, 2-time TNA King of the Mountain, TNA X Division Champion, 6-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion, several Hall of Fame inductions for both your amateur and professional wrestling career, 1996 Olympic gold medalist for the United States of America with a broken freaking neck. Please welcome Kurt Angle.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
What do you think when you hear all of these accomplishments?
I'm actually overwhelmed. I never thought about it before. I know I won these accomplishments and I actually earned them with a lot of hard work, but I never really listened to them being read to me before. So this is the first time.
When did you know that you were a great wrestler?
I wasn't great when I started. I was actually pretty horrible. My brothers were all great wrestlers. I wanted to be just like them, so I never gave up. And I kept doing it from when I was 7 years old. And by the time I got in high school, I started to get it. So it took me about 7 years before I became a fairly good wrestler. And with a lot of work ethic and a lot of training, I was able to make it happen, and I won states in high school. I won the junior nationals in high school. I was kind of a late bloomer. I wasn't recruited heavily into college. There were only a few schools that were interested in me, and one of them was Clarion University.
You were also
Sorry to interrupt, but I was just going to ask about Pennsylvania. That seems to be a really hot pocket when it comes to amateur wrestling and the success. We're here, formerly Colorado State or University of Southern Colorado, Colorado State University Pueblo, and a guy that lived in my dorms, Nick, great dude. He didn't even qualify for state in Pennsylvania, walked on here to the program and stuck a 4-time Colorado State wrestling champion in high school who would eventually become a 2-time national champion in Division II. Just an unbelievable wrestler that he beat, and he didn't even qualify for state. What is it about Pennsylvania?
We start young, we start early. We have a lot of great programs. Pennsylvania is #1 in the nation, probably #1 in the world as far as it goes for wrestling. We've always had that reputation, and we continue to. We actually passed Iowa probably about 20 years ago. Iowa was the state that was heralded for wrestling, but eventually we took over, and we took over pretty hard. A close second now is Ohio. They're doing pretty well too.
You were also an all-state football player. Were there any other sports that you excelled at or liked?
I was pretty good at baseball. I was a pitcher. I played catcher, played center field until I broke my arm. And that was the end of that. I couldn't pitch anymore. But yeah, I was a great football player. I could have went to college to play Division I, but I chose wrestling over football.
What other college scholarships did you have for wrestling?
Well, I had another one that was a really good college. I didn't have a lot that recruited me, but the one that offered me a full scholarship that I was really surprised about was Oklahoma State. And they won 3 national titles while I was in college. So they were the best team in the nation at that time. And I was really surprised they were looking at me. I just sent them, they asked me to send them a tape of a few of my matches. And I put it together, sent it to them, and they called me and said, hey, we don't even care if you win states. We want to offer you a full scholarship. So they saw the talent in me early on, and they weren't looking for accomplishments. They knew that I was a late bloomer and that I was going to explode in college.
After a successful college career, you began to train for the U.S. Olympics. Talk about your training and preparation to make the team and also compete in the Olympic Games.
Well, it was very difficult. You know, I tried out for the Olympics in 1992 right out of college. I ended up being an Olympic alternate. I was 3rd on the team in my weight class, in the 220-pound weight class. And I knew I had to rededicate myself and train even harder for the Olympics than I did for NCAAs. So I went on a training program called Exhaust Training. That's when you train till you're exhausted, and that's when the training begins. So you learn how to train through exhaustion. You get so tired, you want to pass out, you want to fall down, and you keep on training. That trains your brain to tell you that when you're tired, you're still okay, you can still keep going. And that was the secret to my success for the Olympics, was exhaust training.
And alas, the question that we've all wanted to know, how'd you break your neck?
Well, I was wrestling an individual in the semifinals of the US Open, and he hit me with an arm throw, and he had my arm locked. And when he threw me, I went to put my other arm up to block the throw so I wouldn't land on my back, because if you land on your back, you give up points. So I put my hand out, and it was too late. And instead, I stuck my head up, and I landed right on my head vertically. And I had to take an injury timeout. I felt pain rushing down my spine. My arms went numb. I had no strength in my arms. I knew I was in trouble. And but I continued on. I took the injury timeout, and then I kept wrestling. And I had to win that match and win the next match in order to be going to the Olympic trials. So somehow I toughed it out.
Shortly after the Olympics, you were outside by Pueblo professional wrestling companies, ECW, and eventually WWF. What made you decide to go down that career path?
Well, I wasn't exactly turned on by the ECW appearance. They did like a crucifixion in that show, and as a Christian, I was a little bit offended because I didn't understand the business back then. I didn't understand the entertainment factor and everything like that. So I was kind of offended, and I walked away from that, and I was completely turned off. But I started watching WWF back in 1998, and Stone Cold Steve Austin caught my attention. I fell in love with the guy. I thought he was the best character on TV, the best wrestler, and I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be him. So I called the WWE and asked if they would allow me to try out, and they said, yes, we would love for you to try out. So I had a tryout, and I did really well, and the rest is history. You know, I had all the success I had in professional wrestling because I was brave enough to take the tryout.
You caught on to professional wrestling faster than most. What was your secret?
I'm a good student. I'm a great student. Whenever I focus on one thing, I douse myself in it, and that's the only thing that matters to me. So I have a complete laser focus on what I'm doing at that particular time. And it allows you to improve a lot quicker. When you're focused on one thing and that's all you want to do and what you care about, you're going to get a lot better a lot quicker. And I was able to succeed quite a bit in my first year. My rookie year, I actually won the world championship, which is pretty crazy. But I learned very quickly.
Now, Kurt, did you always have that comedic side to you growing up?
No, I didn't even know I had it. Nope. It just happened. It just happened in WWE. It was the material they gave me the read. It was that I had great chemistry with the writer, Brian Gewirtz, and we were able to come out with some really funny comedy segments that really fans know me more for that than my wrestling, which is kind of crazy. But that's what it's all about in the WWE and professional wrestling. It's about moments, you know, bringing moments to the fans. And that's what I was able to do. And that's what made me stand above everybody else at that particular time.
Because when you won your gold medal, it was going into my junior year of high school. So I was very familiar with you before you even got mainstream with WWF and things like that.
You're an amateur wrestling fan. Yeah,
absolutely. Even we had Kenny Monday on this show, but I actually met Kenny at a wrestling camp in Pueblo East with him and Jose back in '95. So I remember going to that camp and just like in awe, like, oh my God, I'm in the same wrestling room as these guys, So, personally, I'm a huge WWF fan, WWE fan, have been since a little kid. But, when I first knew you, it was because of your amateur wrestling background. So seeing some of the comedic things, I'm like, they did a good job of still making sure you were a badass in the ring, but just the comical side and just your delivery, I was like, this is just, it was a unique vantage point seeing you that way compared to how, going through the ranks, Olympic trials, things like that. It was just very unique to see that.
Yeah, I had no idea I had that personality. I never had to do it before. Never wanted to do it, but once I did, I was addicted. I was actually coming to work every week to the WWE. Every week we'd be at a different arena, and I'd come to work. I'd be like a little kid at a candy store. I couldn't wait to hear what I was going to do next. The writers were awesome. They wrote some really great stuff for me. They also wrote great stuff for The Rock, Stone Cold, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero. But for me, it was, they dabbled into the Olympic hero, nerdy milk drinking guy that, didn't really have the three eyes, but preached the three eyes. And it was a really cool character.
Who were your favorite wrestlers to face in WWE?
My favorite wrestlers, Chris Benoit, Shawn Michaels, Brock Lesnar, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and Undertaker. Those 6 are my absolute favorites that I love to work with.
How about TNA?
TNA, I'd say AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Sting. There are a lot of other great wrestlers that I love wrestling, but those guys stood out more.
Who did you want to wrestle that you never got the chance to?
Bret Hart. That would have been a great match. It would have been an epic matchup. Bret and I have talked about it before. Unfortunately, Bret got hurt, and we kind of missed each other. He left WWE right before I got there, and then he went to WCW, and he got kicked in the face, and ended up with a concussion, and had to retire from wrestling. So it was unfortunate I never got to wrestle him, but I've always wanted to.
Talk about the managerial roles you had a few years ago with WWE.
They were a lot of fun. It's not my cup of tea, but it's what the WWE wanted me to do. I was really surprised the way they brought me back. They brought me back and they inducted me into the Hall of Fame first, which I wasn't retired yet. And then they wanted me to be the GM of Raw second, and then they wanted me to wrestle. And I thought the order should have been switched around. I should have wrestled first, been GM second, and then Hall of Fame last. But unfortunately, the WWE had other plans, and that's the way it goes. Nothing I could do about it.
So, I a question as far as how the wrestling part, your retirement match and, just how they used you from a competitor. What were your thoughts on that? I have my thoughts, but just curious to see what you have to say.
Well, I'm not sure what it was. I'm sure it had a lot to do with me leaving the company in 2006. And there were some bitter words that were exchanged. And so when I came back, I knew it wouldn't be the same. But I wanted to do it for the fans, for the WWE universe that supported me all those 7 years that I was in WWE, and also supported me at TNA for 11 years. So I wanted to go back there and have my final matches and retire. And I knew ahead of time I wasn't going to get a title run or anything like that. I actually knew that they were probably going to stick it to me. and that was okay. I totally understood. And don't forget, I had a painkiller problem. I had injured necks. I broke my neck 4 times in WWE. So they also looked at me as somewhat of a liability, and they didn't want to take a chance with me. So I completely understood.
How's your health now? How you feeling?
I'm hanging in there. My knees, my back, and my neck are, hurting pretty badly, but I have good days and bad days. But, at 52 years of age, wrestling for over 40 years, I'd say I'm doing pretty good for what I've done.
Also, talk about what you like about AEW as of right now.
I like the fact that they're making noise. They've signed a bunch of great wrestlers. Chris Jericho is at the helm. He's an incredible athlete, one of the best that has ever done it. And they have some really talented guys. They even took some guys from the WWE that got released. So what the good thing about it is there are 2 big companies going right now. That's good for the wrestlers. That gives them options and gives them jobs to look for. So it's actually a good thing to have 2 companies instead of 1.
Would you consider joining AEW if you had the chance?
I considered it. I was offered a couple of deals. I turned them down. But I'm a WWE guy, and my loyalty is there for right now. They don't, I'm not signed with them in any particular way, but I do have some projects coming up that are as part of the WWE, and I don't want to mess that up. So I'm going to stay loyal with the WWE right now.
What do you do in your free time?
Free time, I spend time with my kids. I love my kids. I have 6 beautiful kids. Age ranges from 19 to 5. And we do a lot of events with them. We take them to the trampoline park. We'll take them to carnivals. We all go to church together and eat lunch afterward. We spend a lot of time together. And that's what I love about my family. They love being around each other.
Talk about your nutrition company you're doing now.
It's called Physically Fit Nutrition. We have a product called Chicken Snacks. They're incredible. The flavors are awesome. We have like cinnamon swirl and buffalo wild wing and blue cheese. We have sriracha. We have honey mustard. A bunch of different flavors. And we also have Snack Smart, which is an organic plant protein. So you have an option between chicken and plant protein. And you can get those at physicallyfit.com. That's physicallyfit.com. That's where you get them. We're doing pretty well with it. We have a lot of people that have been purchasing them, and I'm really happy with the way the business is going.
And before Jack wraps it up, I got a question. I need a little advice. I'm getting back into coaching at Jack's middle school. Unfortunately, Jack is not a wrestler, but I've taken a few years off from, being able to coach high school as an assistant. I'm going back to the middle school. They need some help. Haven't coached at this level in quite some time, the younger kids. What advice do you have for an old man getting back into coaching at the middle school level?
Well, you better be up to par with the new training. A lot of core training, CrossFit training. You should add that into the wrestling repertoire. Those exercises are making these athletes today unbeatable, just incredible, unstoppable. I wish I would have had that type of training when I was in college and during the Olympics. Unfortunately, I didn't. But really get into that. Really focus on that type of training, because they're going to benefit greatly from it. Your core in wrestling is everything, and you have to make sure that it's strong as hell.
What was your favorite moment of your wrestling career other than that legendary gold medal?
My favorite moment of my wrestling career, amateur or pro or both?
Both.
1995 World Championships. I won the World Championships in 1995 in amateur wrestling. That was the year before the Olympics. I'm one of only 4 Americans to ever win the Grand Slam, which is the Junior Nationals, NCAAs, World Championships, and Olympics. So I'll go down in history as one of the greatest amateur wrestlers of all time. My favorite match in WWE had to be Chris Benoit Royal Rumble 2003. If you would have watched that match, it's incredible. A lot of great submission trade-offs. Chris Benoit reminded me a lot of myself. He had the intensity I had. He had the build I had. He had the personality. He had everything, the same thing as me. I felt like I was wrestling myself. And I felt very comfortable with him. And we put on a great performance that night.
I got one last question. I'll let you finish up, Jack. We asked your former teammate in the 96 Olympic team, Kenny Monday, the same question. There's been a lot of great amateur wrestlers, college, high school, the 4-timers undefeated, in the college, in the Olympics. Gable's obviously up there. You are, Kel Sanderson. Who, in your opinion, and even throw your name into this one as well, rightfully so, who's the greatest amateur / Olympic wrestler, not just in the United States, but worldwide, in your opinion?
That's tough. I mean, looking at it now, I think Jordan Burroughs is up there. I also believe that Kenny Monday, John Smith, Dan Gable is definitely up there. Mm-hmm. The accomplishments he had, not only as a wrestler, but as a coach, he will go down in history as the biggest name of all time in amateur wrestling. I'm trying to think of anybody else that I would have put up there. Kenny Monday, John Smith, Jordan Burroughs, and Helen Maroulis, the female wrestler. She has really done an incredible job, and I'm really proud of the fact that she's doing this for women, and she's representing women and making wrestling bigger as a sport, because women are getting more involved.
Yeah, no doubt. And we're trying to get Adeline Gray scheduled to be on the show here at some point. Just schedules kind of.
Adeline's another one. I love that girl. She had a great Olympics. Very proud of her.
All right, Jack, take us home, buddy.
All right, that's it for this week's interview.
Take care,
right,
brother.
That's how we're closing out. All right. Again, Kurt Angle, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us. I know you're on a tight schedule, but just to be able to fit us in and, share your story in a different way that, again, most people know the WWF, WWE TNA side, but we kind of wanted to focus a little bit more on the amateur side. And get you to come on with us. So appreciate your time, and
Thank you.
be sure to have a happy Thanksgiving as well.
You too. You too, Jack. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
Perfect. We cannot thank Mr. Angle enough for taking some time. Jack, on Kurt's career as it spans, are you more impressed with what he did as an amateur from the wrestling standpoint, or what he's done as a professional wrestler? Where does that?
Probably a professional, or no, other than the gold medal with the broken neck.
I was gonna say there's not much. The shitty part is there's not a lot of money that comes along, I don't think, with being a broken necked gold medalist. So that also, like, that is probably the best bar story that a person can tell. It's like, yeah, I broke my neck and then I went and won a gold medal. But I know from the professional standpoint, that was the most lucrative to his bank account. Is that not the correct assessment?
Yes. That was
Got you. Okay, so let's transition from wrestling to, do you know if the Broncos win Sunday night, they're in first place in the West?
They do?
I didn't know that either until I watched an interview on McAfee today with Sertan too.
Dang.
So do you have a computer or something with you right there?
I have my phone.
Yeah, pull on your phone, pull up the rest of the Broncos schedule. I want to know what you think the Broncos are going to go here the rest of the year. And first, this is just maybe for Uncle Kevin's betting addiction. Do we have a snowball's chance in hell to beat the Chiefs?
We're not gonna beat the Chiefs, but a $50 bet on.
Oh my God,
Denver,
we're not betting $50.
$20.
Aunt Jen would slap that smile off your face. We're not betting $50. I will say this:
$10 on the Broncos will give us 44.
Money line for the Broncos. What about the Broncos to cover? What's the line there? God, we're gonna get taken off the internet for talking gambling to a 12-year-old kid, but it's okay.
Yeah, you're good. I think it's a $10 bet. You get 1909. I'm not sure.
Dude, now see, I would bet the Broncos to cover, but I don't know if I'm going to bet them to win. So I had worked my way back. I had got down to like $30 in the account, worked her up to over 100. I bet $50 on Ohio State money line and cover area, and I just got slaughtered Saturday. That's what sucks, man. On like a big Saturday like that, where there's so many good games, and by 1 o'clock on Saturday, you're out of money to gamble because your wife's mad at you because you just lost a big bet, and you still got to cook a turkey and a duck, and it's just. It was far from a good situation.
I'm about to make a big prediction for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's
for
go
the
through.
next 2 weeks, we lose to the Chiefs, but we beat the Lions.
The Lions?
Yeah.
God, I hope so. Where's that game at? Denver?
It's in Denver. Yeah.
Okay. God, I hope we don't lose to them. Okay.
Already
And
got-
then where are we at? So you're saying 1-1. So
what would it be like to bet on? Hold on. Let me see how much it would be for Lions to win bet. I don't know.
No, you won't know because they don't put the lines out on that stuff till the week it happens. But I'm going to assume the Lions will be like +2.25, maybe something like that, plus 250. So it depends on injuries and whatnot and who's going to be playing for them. So, okay, so we go Chiefs, Lions. Who do we have after that?
Bengals.
Where's that at?
In Denver.
Okay, how do you think that goes?
It's gonna be close. We lose to the Bengals, but it's gonna be close.
Have you given up? Like, have you lost all faith in Denver?
No, not like that.
Why are we so good since we? No, I know
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's good.
Yeah, but why?
Why have we got so good since we got rid of Von Miller?
To be honest, I don't know. And then the Raiders have gotten so bad. I mean, Rams gotten so bad.
Oh, they're terrible. The Rams are atrocious.
They've lost like 5 straight, I think. That's what I read.
So we go Chiefs, Lions, Bengal Tigers, and then who?
At Rams. I mean, at Raiders. At Raiders.
Vegas, how do you see that going down?
We win.
Beat the Raiders?
Yeah, but then
Okay,
we
where do
lose
we
the
go
fight.
then? Where do we go after that then? Who's next after the Raiders?
We go to SoFi against Chargers.
That we win that game. The Chargers are a disaster. Other than Eckler, I love Eckler. Man, he's our boy. But okay, so after that,
we're in Denver against the Chiefs.
my prediction is that Chiefs game, is that on Christmas or in first of the year?
January 9th.
Oh, that's the next week. Okay.
That's week 18.
Yeah, so my prediction is that's going to be for the West. I think we're going to beat Kansas City in Kansas City. And then I think that game with the Chiefs
beat Kansas City in Kansas City.
I think, Jack, I'm telling you, we have a chance. I don't know what's going on with the Chiefs, but they are broken. That is my prediction.
I picked the Chiefs, but this is how it would end. So 7-5, 8-5, 8-6, 9-6, 11-6. If we keep this up.
Denver finishes 11-6.
Yeah, 11-6. If not 12-5.
That has to get us in the playoffs, right? Okay, so next question here for General Manager Sentner. Do you, at this point, do we have to give Teddy Bridgewater a big contract? If not, who do you get? Who do you get if you don't? There's nobody in the draft that is worth a shit. So I don't know.
So don't give him a big contract. Give him like a 3-year deal.
But you got to give him enough to keep him in Denver.
Yeah, but
Okay.
don't give him like a big 5-year deal, stuff like that. Just give him a good 3-year deal worth a bit of money so he stays there.
For Teddy Two Gloves.
Yes.
When is your next?
And
Bronco
also
game?
give Drew Lock just in case a 1 week.
No, dude, Jack, Drew Lock sucks. And I have been on, dude. I was pro Drew Lock, but I'm telling you, so when we were driving home, that's something crazy that Aunt Jen and I have got to experience the last 15 years being up here in Wyoming, is a lot of times we spend our weekends in the fall and winter driving on Sundays. And when we were driving home from my mom and dad's on Sunday, and Drew Lock threw that interception at the end of the second period, Dave Logan almost said, "God damn it," on KOA. He was so mad. He was so mad that Drew Lock, I've never heard an announcer be that mad at a player. And he was just like, you cannot make that mistake. And I want Drew Lock to be good. I wanted Trevor Siemian to be good. Who was the 7-footer we got from Montana? What was his name? The weird dude with the little pirate mustache. Patrick Lynch.
No, Paxton
Lynch.
no,
Patrick Lynch is the hockey player here in Gillette. He's awesome. We'll hear more about him in a few years. Paxton Lynch, I want these guys to do good, but they're not. I am telling you, if you can find the audio, Dave Logan was so mad at Drew Lock Sunday. It was hilarious.
Which week was that? What game?
That was Sunday. That was Sunday. That was this last
Wait,
Sunday
we
when we
had
were
Drew
driving.
Lock in? Or was Teddy Bridgewater out?
No, Teddy Two Gloves hurt his leg. He went out with an injury, and then Locke come in and threw one of the worst interceptions in the history of the Broncos. And they told Teddy Two Gloves at halftime, "Hey, you're going to have to go back out there because this guy, Locke, sucks." So Drew Lock's done. I'm going to be honest with you. I almost respect Drew Lock for how little he cares. It's like if you get your guaranteed contract and you're like, you know what, man, I don't give a damn. I'm going to go out and just do boo, whatever. That is where Drew Lock is right now. And he's so bad, I almost respect it. But
Here, I have a very good idea. Trade Drew Lock for a 6th round pick.
I don't think you'll find anyone to give you a 6th-round pick for him. Like, who's going to give you a 6th-round pick for Drew Lock? Who's the shittiest drafting team out there? Who gives up draft picks for stupid stuff?
The Jaguars.
The Jaguars have already got a quarterback. The guy with the pretty hair. What's his name that played at Clemson?
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence. They don't want a quarterback.
Trevor Lawrence sucks. We could have Drew Lock as like a backup because
that's true. Trevor Lawrence does suck.
Gardner Minshew is in Philadelphia. We have no backup. We do not have a backup.
Yeah.
Or,
we have a good defense.
Or no, I'm talking about Jacksonville. We don't.
Hey, you want to know?
They don't. Yeah.
Can I tell you something crazy? You're gonna think it's batshit crazy, but if we're doing it, you know what I think we do?
What?
Next year, 1-year deal. Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers, dude. Get Phillip Rivers to Denver on a 1-year deal with our defense. We make a run. I know that sounds crazy, but there's a chance.
I'm thinking about it, and I'm just like relieving on how much bull that is.
No, you have to get over your bias. You hate Phillip Rivers because of in your heart, you're a Broncos fan to your core. But you have to get past that and think of Broncos fan past your core. He would be so healthy. Like, he hasn't been hit for 18 months. I don't think it's a bad deal, man. I don't think it is. I don't know. I'm just making that. Okay. Last thing before we get out of here. This weekend, college football. Last thing. This is going to affect Uncle Kevin's gambling on Saturday, okay?
Okay.
Hold on. Let's get on. Big thanks to the folks at DraftKings, because you're the only sports book. Oh, why does it make me put my whole password in?
Yeah, thank you, DraftKings.
Don't look at my glasses so you don't see my password.
I'm looking at your glasses. That's all I want.
It's already done. It's already done.
Okay.
Okay, Avs and Canadians are scoreless. That sucks because we got some.
All I know is that you're in your garage right now.
No, I'm in the. This is the spare room. Actually, this is fake. I'm in the Big Loss Meadery faux studio. This is the background we use for the Gillette Wild show. So college football. Let's look at Saturday real fast. I want to burn through these so I know who to bet. Friday night, Oregon at Utah. Pac-12 championship game. Oregon at Utah. Actually, I don't think it's at. I think it's a neutral site. 2.5. Oregon plus 2.5. Who do you got?
And
I'm honest to God, I'm going to bet this right now. This is a parlay we're going to bet.
All right.
Back it up. We're not going to bet money line. We're going to bet money line, not spread.
All right,
so
Utah
money line. Okay, perfect. Oh, hold on. Wait.
Yeah, and a $10 bet according to Caesar's Sportsbook for that is, hold on, let me scroll over here. I hate these wristbands. Trying to scroll. Getting this. Okay. A $10 bet on Utah to win is $17.
We're not doing that. We're parlaying all this stuff together. I'll tell you what it is when we're done. So that's Friday night. Saturday morning, Baylor, Oklahoma State for the Big 12 title. Who wins that outright?
Let me find it. Hold up. Who wins it outright?
Yes.
It's going to be Oklahoma State.
I agree wholeheartedly. Okay. Kent State, Illinois. I'm going to I don't care what you say. You don't follow the MAC, right? The last 5 years.
Kent State should win.
They're not going to, though. The last 5 years, we're going to take Northern Illinois plus 3.5. We are going to bet the spread on that one. The last 5 years, the underdog has actually covered in the MAC championship. So we are not betting the Mountain West. I don't know. San Diego State's going to beat Utah State, right?
All right, CUSA. Hold on, let me check. San Diego State, Utah State. Let me find that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm not betting. No, you know what? I am betting App State. There's a Stavely that plays for Appalachian State on the offensive line. So we're betting them. Okay.
Are you related to him
Hell yeah, I am, man. So
What's his name?
Hodges is his last name. It's something Neil Hodges or something like that. But the mom or the grandma was a Stavely, and then she married into it. I damn near bet on him earlier this year when they upset a team and I didn't do it. And I've said next time I get a chance, I'm betting on him. Here's the big one though. Here's where we're gonna make some money. Okay.
Okay.
Georgia, Alabama. Who wins that game?
Georgia.
Okay. Money line, Georgia. And then
Yeah. Also, other games. Conference USA title game. UTSA finally lost a game. Thank goodness. UTSA over Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky
whoa,
pulls off the upset.
whoa, slow down. What day is that?
Friday.
Oh yeah, UTSA. Hold on.
UTSA. They will lose a game. I thought that was never gonna happen.
Dude, UTSA is an underdog in that game.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're betting them. So let's
89% of people are money line betting on the Western Kentucky. So,
That's wild. Why?
Hell, I don't know. But I'm picking Western Kentucky for that game. All right.
Okay.
And then
Hold
other
on.
games.
Hey, wait. In the history of this show,
What, me?
You've been allowed a bathroom break. I gotta go take a piss real fast. I'll be right back.
Okay. I've been allowed too, by the way. All right.
Can you hear me now?
My pussy hurts. There's no doubt there's Michigan. American. Oh, no, that's even more. No doubt. Cincinnati beats Houston. App State wins. I wonder what all the bowl games are. Oh, yeah. December 11th is the Army-Navy game. Yeah, and the Bahamas Bowl. Toledo. Middle Tennessee. You love hot moms.
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
Now I could hear you through the pods, but I couldn't talk back. I was trying to. I was making sure you couldn't hear me taking a piss. So we agreed on everything that you spoke. I'm not Wake Forest, Pittsburgh. I'm not betting. That's too close.
Close, but bet on the Michigan Iowa game. Michigan. The two Michigan and Iowa and Cincinnati and Houston are two most guaranteed.
Okay, so that's what I have. So right now, here's my parlay. Okay.
Okay.
Let's do this. Here we go. Professional. Utah, money line over Oregon, Oklahoma State, money line over Baylor, Northern Illinois, money line over Kent. Northern Illinois plus 3.5 over Kent State, San Diego State money line, App State money line, Georgia money line, UTSA money line, Cincinnati money line, Michigan money line, plus 60.69.
Nice.
$2.50 wins me 154.24. Here's the question though. Do I bet $10 to win 600? No, I don't like that number. We're going to say 250. I stick with the 250. So $2.50 bet to win 154.24. Are we comfortable with that?
You're losing $100.
I'm not losing $100. I'm only betting $2.
Oh, I thought you said $250.
No, I'm betting $2.50 to win $154.
That is much more reasonable. Do it.
Boom. Bet's done. Bet is placed.
Oh,
Bam. Done. Okay. Sweet.
hey, we have the same phone. Sick. Or no, you have 3 cameras. I only have 2.
I have an iPhone 11, I think. I don't know.
So do I.
So we're getting text. Okay. Perfect, dude. I'm going to call it. This is the last episode before Christmas. Okay. So.
All right.
Where are you going for Christmas?
Staying here, I think.
You're staying in Pueblo?
Yeah.
Nice. Enjoy it. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas. And we'll talk to you here after the new year. If it depending on where we are, we might sneak in a quick little, we might do just a something for Facebook deal where we talk about some of the college bowl games and whatnot, gambling wise. But if not, full episode wise with a guest, will probably be something after the first of the year. Does that sound good?
Cool.
Perfect. Cool. Dude, you have a good Christmas.
You too.
Right on, man. Hey, are you still getting good grades?
Yes.
Okay, get us out of here then.
Okay. That's it for this week's edition of the Paradox Sports Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And be sure to comment what your favorite Christmas basketball game was.
Oh, beautiful. Right on, dude. Later.
Later.